Welcome back to the Platinum Yard Hi-Fi and AV review channel. Today I'm going to talk you through my experience with the Gato DPA 4004. Now I've had this unit in for a couple of months now and I've been using it as part of my home theatre setup, and I've also used it with 2-channel hi-fi. Let's get into it. Now those that are familiar with my channel will already be aware that I'm a big fan of Gato audio products, and for me this amplifier is probably my favourite of the bunch as it offers the most value for money. Now this is a 4-channel amplifier that can be bridged for stereo listening, and the build quality and fit and finish is first class. So let's head to Gato's official website to check out the spec. The DPA 4004 is a 4-channel power amplifier and is ultimately designed to serve surround sound processors. Now what's different about this power amplifier is the design, because it's sleek and compact, but you can see here Gato advertised that it offers pure muscle, but actually when you listen to the amp you will soon realise that it's a lot more sophisticated than advertised. Now this amplifier implements 2 state-of-the-art Class D output stages. Now when I contacted Gato, they informed me that they're actually using a version of Pascal's modules inside. And spoiler alert, the implementation of the Pascal modules have been a success. Now before I get into the spec, you can see here that the amplifier supports balanced and RCA connections, and 2 toggles at the bottom that will switch the amplifier into bridge mode. You can see the configuration options below, and the numbers are insane: 4x400, 2x1400, or 3x1400, and 2 channels of 400 watts each. So we've already discussed the insane power output, so the key things to highlight is the frequency response, total harmonic distortion, and signal to noise ratio. So the frequency response from 20 to 20 kHz is rated at 0.5 dB, so that's pretty much ruler flat. The total harmonic distortion is rated at 0.01 at rated power, and the signal to noise ratio is rated at 110 dB, and in operation this amplifier is really quiet. Now the amplifier is relatively easy to drive looking at the input impedance, and the voltage gain is rated at 26 dB. The recommended speaker load is anywhere between 4 to 16 ohm loads, and if you're planning to bridge the amplifier, you need to have an 8 or 16 ohm speaker. Now you have to remember, the amplifier doubles the power output into 4 ohm loads, and I guess the assumption here is 3200 watts per channel is pretty dangerous. Now at the rear of the amplifier you will find 2 pairs of gold plated XLR Nutric connections, 2 pairs of gold plated RCA, and 4 pairs of speaker terminals that support banana plugs. The amp also supports a 12 volt trigger, which is handy when pairing with your surround sound processor, and the amp's a pretty compact unit, coming in at 32 cm wide, approximately 10.5 cm tall, and 42 cm deep. And finally the amp weighs in at 13 kilograms. Now enough with the spec, it's time to talk about my thoughts and impressions. Now with 4 channels of amplification, the Gato is best tested first of all with home theatre. So I've hooked the amp up to my surround sound processor, using 3 of the channels to power my centre speaker and my left and right channels. Now the first thing you will notice with the Gato when watching movies or even listening to music with 2-channel is just how smooth it is. Now I've mentioned this in other reviews, the Gato's sound signature is very organic, it's smooth, very detailed but non-offensive. And this makes a great recipe for easy listening, watching TV shows or movies. Because what you get is very clear dialogue, and an amp that isn't too picky about the source material. Now the amp's presentation is very nuanced and neutral, and it does a great job with helping your speakers disappear in your room. Now that's most likely the result of low noise and distortion, and I often found myself watching movies a little bit louder than usual, and the amp will lull you into a false sense of security making you forget about the power that it has on tap. And then the dynamic impact will hit you with a huge reminder. Now the DPA 4004 is one of the most dynamic multi-channel amps I've had in my setup, and this includes stereo amps. And I would say that its dynamism is on par with my previous monoblock setup. So to be clear, this 4-channel amplifier offers massive power, and the power supply seems to offer each channel everything without being distracted with what's happening in the other channels. Now, I want to take a moment to talk about the power output, as the numbers will either impress you or scare you away, as 400 watts into 8 ohms and 800 watts into 4 ohms may sound like way too much juice. But I hooked the amplifier up to both large and small speakers and found that the amp synergized nicely. Putting TV and cinematics to one side and turning my ear to focus on music, the 404 offers a level of performance that's not typically associated with Class D amps. It has a slightly smooth presentation, detailed but far from analytical, and the amp offers a level of soul that connects you to the music. I think the 404 is a great example of technological advancements over the years, highlighting that Class D can make a real rival against other technologies when done correctly. Now each class of amplification offers pros and cons, and the DPA 4004 gives you some of the benefits that you would get with a Class AB amp, and all of the benefits that you would get with a good Class D. Now in short, this amplifier performs really well with 2-channel listening. It's nuanced, clear, sibilant free, the noise floor is low, and it offers tremendous power. Now in comparison to Gato's Amp 150, it doesn't quite have that last letter in the detail, but in return the amp is less fussy about the source material. So my closing comments on this amp is that it's a great performer with music and even better with home theatre. So if you're looking for a multi-channel amplifier, I highly recommend that you check this out. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Now in future videos I'm going to be running Gato's Class D variants versus Class AB and doing all kinds of interesting tests. Watch this space.